Good evening, snipers. I hope you all are having an amazing weekend. I just don't have my phone with me. I forgot it in my at my friend's place, so no video tonight, but showing my face. But I will quickly go over all the important details on our call. Starting with our weekly seasonality, and then we'll talk about the earnings calendar, then look into the economic calendar, and after that, we'll also look into SPY and QQQ and IWM and the trade idea for the week with the top three charts. And after that, we'll also talk about the other charts that I've shared in the Sniper Charts channel. Without further ado, quickly jumping into our Discord here. Looks like the market seasonality 43% of the time green on Nasdaq starting of the week. But something that I've extrapolated is May, which is after election year, usually outperforms outperforms the or performs the best for that year, with an average in the last 25 years up about 1.6%. So it is I mean, I know with the recent market volatility, you might think 1.6%, that's about it. But actually 1.6% gain in a month is quite big. So so May is going to be a good month post election year. That's how you want to look at the seasonality. But otherwise, again, like I talk about this every week, and I hope you understand this also. Seasonality is a mere projection of what has happened in the past. It's not a prediction of what will happen in the future. But if the seasonality is aligning with what has happened in the past, with the current price action, you can be more confident in playing your plays. So that is why I have this weekly seasonality always loaded out for you guys. So 43% of the time green. Any number under 40, over 50, over 60 is something that I take a little bit more seriously. Anything between 40 to 60, it's basically a coin flip is how I take it. So 43% of the time being green on Nasdaq coming Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, it seems like we start off like a little bit more a weaker or flattish or not much of a direction that's coming through. But Wednesday is when we see 62% of the time S&P and Dow being green, and 57% of the time Nasdaq being green. That also follows through into Thursday. It kind of aligns with how I'm also thinking because of the FOMC midweek, with Powell also going to come out. So my Wednesday, Thursday looking very strong. Again, Friday showing a little bit of a weakness in Dow, but Nasdaq still, I mean, it's not going to give you any direction when it's 52% of the time being green. It's basically a coin flip is how I kind of take it. But Dow shows a little bit more weakness on Friday, so keep an eye out for that on the seasonality front. Coming to the earnings calendar front, we have talked about this a little bit more elaborately on our on the morning notes that I sent out on the game plan channel. Palantir, very bullish bets. Looking at that, Hims and hers. Hims. Someone asked me about it. I see that there's a lot of positive news around Hims as well. And way out the money calls being bought. I didn't see any puts being sold, but there were a few puts that were sold, that were bought as well on him. So keep an eye out for that. Rivian, that's another stock that I'm always looking out for. I think if you're a Rivian holder, if you want to hold it for a good amount of time, I think it can see 16 about 4 to 5 years. So I'm always looking out for how their I'm so sorry how their earnings will look like, and when to get back into this position as well. So keep an eye out for that on Rivian. I don't see much flow there. APP, quite a bit of bullish flow on APP with the far out the money contracts being bought, and also I did see some puts also being bought. So it's not a unidirectional trade that I can talk about. Uber is another one which has a lot of unidirectional flow with 100 calls for October being bought on Uber, which really stand out. Arm is another one that has quite a bit of call flow, and the chart also looks pretty good. If Arm did not have earnings this week, I would probably classify Arm as the trade idea for the week, but it does have earnings this week, so I did not. I took it off the trade idea for the least for the week list. So that's mostly what I look into when I look at Arm. Shopify, another one which has a lot of puts sold at 90 for longer dated positions, but not much of aggressive call buying there. Coinbase is another one which looked very very good. Obviously, 190 puts. That's the other one that was bought, but 215, 220, 235, 240 calls also being bought as well on Coinbase. So that's another one that you want to look out for. Anything else that just trying to see if there's anything that really stands out. I think DoorDash will do really well also on after earnings, so keep an eye out for that on DoorDash. Probably look for a calendar spread on there towards the upside here on DoorDash. Yeah, that's mostly what I have on the so other garbage stock. Upstart, that's another one that's been doing really well after its earnings recently. So something that you can keep an eye out for. Um, is there anything else? Celsius is another one that's tanked quite a bit, but that's another FinTwit favorite as well. Quite a few people play it. The big accounts on FinTwit kind of pump around it, so keep an eye out for that. Oh, Carvana, that's a big one as well. Coinciding with like rate cut news and things like that is very bullish for Carvana. I think they'll also guide up there on their earnings call because of this tariffs news that's been coming out, which is very good for the used car business. So keep an eye out for that on Carvana as well. So that's mostly what I have for earnings. I will be posting out. I will be talking about these charts again, and I also posted about the flow going into these earnings and closer to the close, or the day before the earnings. If there is a significant flow that comes in or any unidirectional positioning that's happening on the flow, I'll definitely let you know. But otherwise, I would definitely try to stay out of earnings plays. Usually look for spreads, calendar spreads, or just credit, just debit spreads in general, and go from there. So keep an eye out for these ones that I'll be talking about later this week, and we'll see what to do then. Um, Next one, economic calendar. This is a big. Let me take this off. Economic calendar. This is a big one. We have FOMC, and after that, Powell coming out. This is one of the biggest days this week. Very wild move in the market that is possible. Have to see how Powell talks again. The last two times he has been out after the previous FOMC. He has been extremely bearish. I'll kid you not. He has been wildly bearish with the way he has been talking. So keep an eye out for that. If he softens his stance, that's an indication for the market to start ripping up higher, because that will give that it just means that Trump is having his way, and it's much, and he would ease a little bit more on these tariffs and things like that as well. So we'll have to see, we'll have to figure out what's going to happen. But he has been pressurizing the Fed to cut their rates, just like he did in 2018, 2019. So I think he's doing the same thing right now, and we'll have to see how Powell kind of place out this narrative tomorrow, and I mean on Wednesday, and see where things land. But that is the only and the biggest day that I'm looking out to for a future market, near short term future market direction, for playing anything in the market on Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that. Monday and Tuesday I'll be trading a little bit more lighter, going in and out at I wouldn't say quicker, but I would definitely say at around 20-25%, I would be probably like, scaling right back out and see where things land. But Wednesday is when we'll probably get more direction as to where the next move is, and we'll figure out where the market wants to go. All right. So next, let's talk about SPY, QQQ, and IWM. The first one I want to talk about this monthly candles or weekly candles. Let's talk about weekly candles because now I can clearly draw the fibs and I can let you know. We talked about this a few weeks back, about 3 to 4 weeks back, where we had the 22 low, 20 low, 22 low, 23 low, and then we have the it's not the 23 low. I wouldn't say this is the 23 low. This is the pullback that we had from July to October again on in 23. This was about 10 15% 10% correction, right? Yeah, this was 10% correction, and that's how we kind of drew this trend line, and that's exactly where we got the 2025 low. Is this a 2025 low? We don't know. Obviously, we are just in the fifth month of this year, getting almost halfway there, but this is a very nice bounce. This bounce usually never happens if this is not a strong support. So this is a very nice bounce, and I really love this bounce as well. So one more thing I would want to bring out, I know quite a few have asked me, what people have been talking about, retracements and things like that, and what has happened there. So if you look at this retracements, one thing that you want to observe very keenly is how, like, any bounce that has happened, like, once there's a bounce, when we have a bounce, we can probably put this a little bit lower. When we have a bounce, is the 61.8 fib being captured, which is not being captured here in 2021, like every single time, right? Like every single time we have that big bounce, we never had that 61.8 recaptured, right? Like, so uh, you can't say, oh, this is where it recaptured, because when we go off this, it didn't recapture. It had a shooting star candle, and then when we go right back down here, also 61.8 was the one that got rejected. We go right back down here also, like, until this one got really picked up. It went up, came right back down, hit the 50, and then raged right back up, right? So when you see the 50 and the 61.8 fibs being recaptured, that's when you should be a little bit more aware that oh, you know what, the market is trying to show you some bullish signs. That's where you would be a little bit more um, cognizant that that might be the bottom and this is not a bear flag per se. Anything like the other indication that I really like is having the 9 and the 20 being flipped to the right side, right? Like the 9 should be above the 20, and that's when you can see a little bit more of the bulls trying to recapture that momentum towards the upside. I usually like seeing that on the daily, but weekly is a little bit more powerful than the daily. And once you saw that happen, like you see that downtrend, and it didn't even let it cross. See that? We had that huge ravaging that happened, and this move also, you see that you had that little bit of a cross, and then we went down very aggressively. But once it recaptured it, the look at how aggressive the move was towards the upside. So right now, obviously, the 9 and the 20 are flipped. There's quite a bit of gap between the 9 and 20 on the weekly time frame. But then when you start looking at the daily time frame is where I would be so day weekly is more of like, you're looking at a few quarters out. Daily, you are probably looking like a few weeks out, right? So you do have that bull cross. You do have that 9 EMA crossing above the 20 EMA, which is helping the bulls right now on a shorter term basis. I'm not talking about quarters out. I'm just talking about the month of May. So we are seeing that bull cross on the daily. So we can probably see a little bit more move towards the upside here on SPY. So keep an eye out for that. I also have a nice write up that I've posted this morning about these fibs and how I kind of was using them to gauge like the short term, long term kind of situation. But you can go over that as well, and it's pretty informative. If you want to look, if you want to decide on what a bear gap is, why is this not called a bear gap, and why you need not worry about it being a dead cat bounce. So just remember that. Here on the 65-minute time frame where we track the gaps and where we see what's happening in the market, we do have an island bull gap. This whole thing where how do we see the gaps here? You have a gap down, right? You have a gap down. This is a bear gap, and then you had a gap up. I know the gap up does not show up here because of this wrong candle. You can go to any other platform and you will see that this is actually a wick right here. So I mean there's a gap right here. So so this was the bear gap. So this was the bull gap. And because we gapped above the bear gap that we had here, this becomes like you know, an island bull gap here, and we have that island bull gap which was protected for the week. And any kind of shenanigan that we see, any kind of shenanigan that we will see, uh, if okay, let me say this. If we have a shenanigan where we gap under this island bull gap, let's say we the price opens somewhere up here, then it becomes a bearish action for us to go retest this trend line again, right? All the way to this trend line, and you can probably bear flag and slowly trickle down and fill both these bull gaps here, right? It can happen. Now, if that doesn't happen, if we are not falling under that trend line, under this island bull gap, right? We go down this area, this 554 555 region will be a very strong support, like very strong support. And any fill of this island bull gap will create that bounce for you to hit a higher high situation where we can probably fill off this bear gap as well. So this island bull gap, that is why it was so important for the bulls to open it and retain it over the weekend. And this becomes a very big position or a support for the bulls to play to the upside if it gets filled. The only way that bears can do what they can do is if they fill it, like if they gap it under it, right? Like if once Powell comes in, this is something that I've played on, I would say 7 out of 10 times will be a good success. Is if you see a shenanigan like that, like you see a candle going like that for into Powell, that that candle will be bought out, and this candle that gets created on whatever Powell says will close something like that. Like this is how it will close, and we'll head back up. I'm not even kidding. I have seen this so many times. And when this island bull gap is a strong support, and it will help the buyers if there is an intraday move towards the downside, having some shenanigans, especially when Paul is speaking. So keep an eye out for that, see what we can do, and we will probably snipe it towards the upside. I would be more than happy to see that island bull gap getting closed, which might give us a good opportunity, is how I see it. But if it doesn't and we keep chugging higher, that's something that we'll have to play the momentum and pick up the right stocks, just like how we have been doing for the last few weeks, and keep moving higher. Our small accounts, I'm extremely happy that people are finding a lot of success in the market, especially in this type of market. And when the market gets like really easy, we can probably start betting some $1,000 bets. And right now, I'm just focusing every day for a $200 $250 positions, like gains. It's fine. We don't trade. Like I've had people ask me, "Oh, you're not trading today. Why didn't you take any positions? Why didn't you do this? I'm paying you $200 a month not to sit around and things like that." But dude, you can make $200 a day why are you even like, I just don't get the mindset. But anyway, that's a very, very, very small portion of the of our members, which is great. And 90% of the pings that I get are very grateful with how their trading is going. I'm not expecting them to appreciate what I'm doing for them. I just like, I can only nudge you to the right direction, right? Like, ultimately you're the one who is responsible for the success for your trading. So um so be patient, we see what's happening in the market. Don't overtrade, and you can hit those big wins once that island bull gap gets filled. Once we see our once we see the price action that we are envisioning on the paper, or like, let's say not the paper, on the chart, that's when you will get a little bit more confidence as to how to play it, and it will help you quite a bit when that happens as well. So keep an eye out for those levels here: 5555, 555. That's the level that you want to look out for on SPY. On SPX also, 4 5s is the number that has been acting as a good support as well. Good resistance for quite some time, and then now the support. But otherwise, I am all for this bear gap being filled in the next few weeks, is how I'm seeing it. So keep an eye out for that, and we will play the market as and how it kind of evolves. Next one is QQQ. Let me type it out fast enough. Yeah, there you go. QQQ on the daily broke out, looking pretty good. We did break out of this 580, I think, right? Like, what is this? 580. Oh yeah, 585. Oh yeah, 586. The next level here is 594. Sorry. 486, 497 is the next target here on QQQ. Above that is 504 and 508. So keep an eye out for that. It's looking good. I mean, I would not say, uh, yeah, I mean, it's looking good. There's nothing that is bothering me on QQQ at the moment. It is definitely looking pretty good. So 497.50 is the target above. I do think if we do see a drop, I don't think 480 will break down this time around. With the 9 catching up, it'll be somewhere around the 480. So we will see a good level of support around 480 to 478 ish or something like that. So so keep an eye out for that level there on the downside. You can probably play if there is some good support that the market is showing around that area. So that's the level that you want to look out for. Obviously, I already told you the levels above: 497.50, 504, 508. These are the levels that you're looking for on the upside. Next one is IWM. IWM is definitely lagging the rest of the market. Obviously, did show some strength the last couple of days, especially going into FOMC. Next target here is 202 and 205. 205 is a bigger resistance here. Above that is 209. I don't see IWM going to 209 this week, but if 205 is a definite target here on IWM. Anything under, you don't want to lose 198. 198 is a very significant level here on IWM now. If that is broken, 195, 193 are your two levels to the downside. So keep an eye out for that on IWM. Now, let's also talk about the top 3 trade ideas for this week. Third on the list, I would probably look into. I don't even remember which ones that I picked. Let's see. Uh, Top three. Where's my top three? Here. BA, Carvana, and Tesla. Actually, Carvana has earnings. Let's change that up. Top three. I will say BA. I have another one which is Spotify. So I'll probably talk about Spotify, and then I'll talk about Tesla. So anyway, third on the list is Tesla. Looking very nice. Like, it has that nice little breakout that that Tesla did, and after it broke out, that trend line is definitely acting as support. See that there's a dip, support, dip, hammer, support. Again, I picked it up because it was breaking 290 on Friday. Obviously, I did give it quite a bit of time, which is fine as well, because I didn't size up on the position, also because it was a swing, and it closed under the trend line, which I hate. But if next time, if we see this 290 broken, this is a definite 308, 325 kind of move. 325, 336, 348. These are your three levels to the upside. 348 seems to be very possible going into May. Um, into end of May. I know I sold 350 calls for a couple of weeks out. I think. I mean, obviously, I'm down on those, right? Like, but I'm not going to sell them. I'm not going to buy them back because if the stock closes above 350, I'll be losing all my stock. But my stock price is around 309 ish or something right now because we sold covered calls twice. I mean, if it does not close above 350, I'm totally fine holding them for the next 3-4 years until it hits 600. But I think 600 is still the price target here on Tesla. Not for this week, but I'll be looking out for that 290 break here on Tesla towards the upside for a 308 target. 300 call is something that I'll be looking out for on a close watch, or you can also go up to 320 calls for next week and probably play it to the upside as well. So keep an eye out for that on Tesla. 290 is a significant level to look out for on Tesla. Next one is Spotify. Obviously, I don't have levels here. That's the reason why I did not talk about it. I did not post about it. Also, I need to work on these levels. But this was a nice, clean double bottom kind of situation, and we are hitting that new all-time highs. Usually, when this something like this happens, this is actually 100, 150. Yeah, this is like a 150 point move. So from 650 almost up till 800, that's the move that's the measured move of Spotify. It won't happen this week per se, but if you are looking for a play on Spotify after the 650 break, you can probably play the 670 or 680 calls here on Spotify. 650 break will be your trigger here on Spotify to play the 670 call, 670 or 680 calls. I'll draw some levels and give you some data around it. I just didn't know that Carvana had. I kind of forgot that Carvana had earnings, and I added it to the top three trades for this week. But Spotify is my number two on the pick. I had this one on watch, but I just did not post it because I didn't have levels on it. So keep an eye out for this. I'll post a write up on this before I go to bed, and we'll probably play it to the upside here also on Spotify. So keep an eye out for that. Next one is last but not the least. This is the trade idea for the week. This is BA, one of those stocks that I usually never play, but when I play, it hits off really well. If you all remember, last time we played BA was 2 or 3 weeks back, and we hit a 230%. A lot of people ping me about it as to how I caught it, but it was a pure news play. Pure flow play, and then the news came out about Europe tariffs, and it was a great play. Right now, yes, I know it's a shooting star. People might be talking about how this is a bearish setup and things like that. I'm not in this position yet, right? So the reason I'm not in this position is because 188, that is the level that needs to break. 188. Look at that. Number of times it has acted as resistance and be a tanked, right? So is this the time we see that 188 level breaking higher? Because you see that nice increasing volume going into that level. You see this? You see how it's increasing here. That is something that I'm very interested in. When something like that happens, I'm very interested in the stock because it just shows me that there is interest for it to break out about that 188 level. So that is the level that I'm looking out for. Once that level breaks, I'll be looking out to play the 190 calls on BA. I know last week someone from the White House has come out and support of BA, which hasn't happened in quite some time. And they said then we need to protect Boeing. It is an American company, etc., etc. And that is the first sign of good news that came out for BA. And I think probably why there's so much interest in buying that up also and breaking that 188 level. So keep an eye out for that level. Once 188 breaks, we will be playing the 190 calls here on BA on the weekly. So that also becomes the trade idea for the week. So keep an eye out for that on BA. Next, I'll quickly go over some charts and we will wrap up our call here. For Apple first, I don't like Apple at all here. It did break down after its earnings. 200 might be on tap. If 207 is broken, I would be a little bit more careful to not play puts, but 200 might be here on tap. Positive China news though would definitely break 207, and I will be looking out for some 210 calls. I am not in no way bearish or bullish on it, but I'll be more than happy to play it to the downside if the market breaks down because of the weakness that it is showing right now. So keep an eye out for that on Apple. Next one is Amazon. I think Amazon 200 wall, that Bezos selling wall, will be back on Amazon again this week. I don't think he'll be selling somewhere at 190, 189 or something. He'll just probably have a huge sell order set at 200, just like how he did last time. And every time it hit 200, it will probably drop off. So I'm betting on it going to 200 this week, and then not moving at any higher until Bezos is done selling his stock. So 200 is the target here. Anything to the downside, we would probably see 180, 179 to 180 here on Amazon. A nice little bullish cross, and which is acting as support. So that is the reason why I'm also looking into that 200 call, 200 target here, where the Bezos wall can be back up on Amazon. Next one is AVGO. What a play last week. We made some very good money. My main account, 100 contracts, small account, 2 contracts. Both made some good money, 60%, 50% of something gains. Actually, it went all the way up to like 170% or so at its highs. I mean, I don't care. We got our gain and we got out. Nice little compression, then a peekaboo, and after that, gap up, and it was showing a lot of strength. 211 is the target here. Anything to the downside, 196 again. I don't think 196 will be broken here on AVGO. 193, 194, I would definitely look for a play on the upside here on AVGO. 196 is going to act as a pretty good support, but if there is a little bit more shenanigan after Powell, if it hits 193, 194, I'll probably play some bounce, 195 calls, just so that I can play this bounce off AVGO here. So keep an eye out for that on AVGO. Next one is coin. Coin looks like an inverted head and shoulders. I talked about this 205 break. That's what we need. It's sitting at that trend. It's sitting at that neckline here with with a measured move of about 45 points, right? Like 45, no, 55 points. So anything to the upside here, we are looking at about 260, 269. Yeah, 256 to 260. 250, yeah, 256 to 270. That's the range that I'm looking out for. Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens after earnings. There are some 190 puts that were bought, but otherwise we do have quite a bit of move that is possible here on coin towards the upside here with that 205 break. So keep an eye out for that on coin here towards the upside. Next one, let's see, Carvana. Oh, this one is an inside candle that 260 breaks 281, and then after that is 300, 320. Again, this has some put selling that has happened, put buying that has happened, but also a lot of out the money calls with 320 to 340 calls being bought as well on Carvana on a shorter dated time frame. So I am thinking there will be a quite a bit of bullish action here on Carvana after its earnings. So keep an eye out for that. Here, if you want a flow play for this week, I think 167.50 call on Google is the one to look out for. I know we are already positioned on it on this small account. We sold about two-fifth of it. We still have 3 contracts left on it. My main account, I still have like 50 contracts or 60 contracts left on it. But 164.50, That's your trigger towards the upside, with the upside target at 169 to 170. Before 516, I think Google will close above 170. I am being a little bit more. I know quite a few of you ping me about how are you being so specific about Google. It's just May OPEX, and then I did see a lot of put selling on 170 puts on Google, which are far in the money. So I think these people are like these were not sold for like a lot of money. I would not say a lot of money, but like these. I mean, why would they sell 170 puts unless they want to hold a lot of share and at 170, and also thinking that they would not. I mean, they sold it at around 165 ish. No, 163-ish. Let me check my notes. I think 163 or 162-ish. Yeah, 162-ish. So that's about 170 puts, right? Like, so that's 8 points in the money. So if they are buying up share at 170, so they are looking at 162. So they are looking at stock being above 162 by the end of 516. So any kind of dip towards 160, I would probably try to play the dip on Google, buy the dip on Google. We sold our shares after its earnings, like at 168-ish, I guess, 168. I know we don't have aftermarket prices here, but when it popped after earnings to 168, that's where we sold it. I also sold some I also sold some cash secured puts on Google, which will definitely make money. I feel they're already almost dead. But like I think 169 is the target here on Google this week. If this 164.50 is broken, 167.50 is the call that you want to look out for, which has pretty good call volume as well. I'll check the open interest tomorrow and let you know pre-market as well. But Google is a good flow play that I'm looking out to play for the upside here. Meta, what a play here, right? Like when it was trading at around 590, we picked up the 59. No, it was trading at around 585, right? Like 578, yeah, 585 or so. Yeah, somewhere up here is when I picked up the 590 call, and we sold it at $8, which is pretty good on Friday. I did that only because like we broke the trend line, held the trend line. We were like, okay, it looks good, trying to squeeze through up towards the upside, and that's where I had the price target of 598 to 600 on Friday. It did break above 600. Obviously, we could have capitalized on a much bigger gain, but happy with what we got, like $2 to $8, which is great on a Friday. And once 600 breaks, I'll be probably looking out for those 620 or 630 calls here on Meta. So keep an eye out for that. Next one is Microsoft. Again, a leader right now. I would say it's a leader right now. And let me see something. I just thought of that. Okay, probably a 444 test here on Microsoft this week. Once this trend line breaks, we are off to 460, 468. But I think that's the level that they're targeting. Huge gap up after earnings, amazing earnings as well. So keep an eye out for that on Microsoft. 444 is the target towards the upside here. Nvidia, this one has been a dud, I would say, the weakest of the chips currently. I talked about this last week also, but this is something that I have seen last week coming up with a trend line right there. We did not break above the trend line. We were looking very close to break above this trend line, and once that trend line is broken, this is the target here, which is around 125. So that is why I was talking about Nvidia. If this is broken, 125 is a clear target there, and if 125 is broken, 140 will come up on Nvidia again. So which is the measured move of this inverted head and shoulders coming off a downtrend, which looks like a very very nice play here on Nvidia. So keep an eye out for that on Nvidia. Anyway, that's all I have for this week. If you have any other questions, do let me know. I do have to post out a chart on Walmart, which was a trade, which was a chart request. I don't have the levels on it, so I'll have to work on it before I head out. But I know there's all this here, but this was all pre-split uh, levels. I need to clear this chart out and draw levels again on Walmart. But keep an eye out for this one as well. I mean, it's definitely looking stronger, nicely breaking out for filling this bear gap here. That's mostly the target. But I will be posting out the levels and chart later on before I sleep tonight. And That's all I have for today. I hope you get something out of this, and it is informative. And if you have any other questions, do let me know. But otherwise, have a good rest of your weekend. I will see you guys again with pre-market notes tomorrow morning, and let's keep grinding higher. Our accounts should keep grinding higher. We should not. We will have red days. I'll never say we will not have red days. We will never have losing trades, but we they have to be contained enough so that we can like make some good returns, and one good trade should cover at least two bad trades. That's how it should be, and that's exactly what we are what how we are trading as well. And it clearly shows. It shows a lot of success in a lot of people as well. I'm extremely happy, and stay with that discipline, stay with that ambition to succeed in this market. You will all make real good money. Thanks a lot. Have a good rest of your weekend.